Why Felipe Neto is wrong on Bolsonaro and COVID-19 in Brazil.
If you're watching this, you probably know about this video that was launched in the New York Times yesterday, claiming that Brazilian President Bolsonaro is the worst COVID president of the world. I'm from Brazil, and especially knowing that this YouTuber's mistake dates long before the COVID crisis, I couldn't stop but notice he's wrong again. Felipe Neto, who has described himself as a clown in the New York Times video, has been a YouTuber for over a decade now. Since then, he has changed his political views and hair colors many times. In 2011, he launched a nationwide campaign against the high taxes on imported goods, such as video games. In 2019, he became an active voice in defense of the creation of new taxes, which he believed would be beneficial to the country. But most importantly, and the reason why you're here, he is wrong about Bolsonaro and the COVID-19 pandemic in Brazil. First of all, he left out of his remarks a small detail about the COVID-19 pandemic in Brazil. Early in March, when we had only 46 deaths due to the virus in the whole country, our Supreme Court gave the states and municipalities all the power to fight the disease. So the federal government, which stipulated a number of measures against the disease early in February, has since become a secondary figure in this fight. Brazil has then entered a nationwide lockdown led by governors and mayors, which did very little to prevent the worst from happening, study says. Now ask yourself, do you think Felipe Neto gave you the whole picture of this issue? Then he goes on to claim that Brazil is the fastest rising COVID country in the world. He is wrong. We know at least Peru and Panama as having faster rising COVID deaths than Brazil. Check the source. But again, why would Neto research on this topic before recording a video to the New York Times about it? Finally, he says that Bolsonaro changed the protocol to treat the disease with a miraculous drug with no evidence to support it. In reality, there is plenty evidence in defense of hydroxychloroquine use in COVID patients. One study conducted in 6 hospitals in southeast Michigan has found a staggering difference on survival rate for those 2,541 patients involved in the study. Those who took hydroxychloroquine, associated or not with other drugs, had a death rate of 13% versus 26% of regular protocols. It is true, though, that another study has found different results, concluding no practical difference in survival rate between those who took the drugs and those who followed the usual protocol. Now, saying there is no evidence to support the use of the drug is blatantly wrong. As a matter of fact, in light of the evidence presented for the use of hydroxychloroquine, the Federal Medical Council, the Association for All Physicians in Brazil, has authorized the use of the drug for patients ranging from mild symptoms all the way to critical care. Most importantly, no doctor nor patient is forcibly or automatically prescribed the drug, as Neto suggests. Rather, it is the doctor's and patient shared decision to take the drug or not. Pretty different than the image Neto gave you about this issue, right? Am I saying that Bolsonaro is perfect and all his views are correct? Of course not. But also, it is only reasonable to admit that just like Trump, Bolsonaro is a good marketeer and knows what words to use to draw attention from the media. That is precisely what got them elected. Trump and Bolsonaro, even spending only a fraction of their competitors' budget. So don't you worry, Americans, Bolsonaro is no real threat to the Brazilian democracy. The reality is quite the opposite. It is the Brazilians' Workers' Party and the Brazilians' Communist Party that went together against Bolsonaro in 2018 that supported bills to suppress online free speech. Just last week, saluted the Chinese Communist Party for its 99 years of existence, during which, of course, no opposition party was allowed to exist. Now, guess which candidate did Felipe Neto, allegedly champion of democracy, supported in 2018? You guessed right, the Workers' Party and the Communist Party of Brazil. At the end of the day, Felipe Neto's confused mind has only disinformed the American public about a topic he's done very little research about, claiming to defend a democratic system, which the folks at the Communist Party he supported are not very fond of. If we want to really tackle the COVID problem in the US and in Brazil, we have to stop expecting credible information from people who call themselves clowns and have a debate with real information on this issue. If not, the left can only expect the same electoral results they had a few years ago. Shutting the debate, claiming all opposition to be crazy, is exactly what got Trump and Bolsonaro elected. If you want to have a shot this time, hear out what the other side of the political arena has to say, not only the dyed-hair clown who agrees with you. This was Gabriel Caesar to the Shaker Republican.